Welcome to Box Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Wife-Like, released in the year 2022. The movie starts with an advertisement for Wife-Like Enterprise that specializes in making AI-based robots that can act like your wife in her absence. The founder of Wife-Like, named Marion Venner, explains during the advertisement how the experience of getting a robot from Wife-Like will help someone achieve a better lifestyle. He finishes the advert with the words, "Update your wife, upgrade your life." Next, we can see William, who is playing the role of a protagonist. He reaches the Wife-Like facility in his Tesla. Then he enters a room where he stands on a mechanized base that activates a holographic structure of Marion. Then we can see William is talking to Marion about how he loves his wife Meredith, to which he acknowledges that his feelings are true to his wife and that he has suffered a lot since she has died. Though William wanted to discuss more, the holographic session ends and a staff member from Wife-Like enters the room and informs William that his new wife is ready. William leaves the room and sees Meredith, the AI robot, which is the replica of his wife. He brings her home and activates her by saying the command, "Open your eyes," and welcomes her home. He says to Meredith that it's her new home, though she will take some time adjusting as a lot of information is still being processed, as the robot looks exactly like William's wife, who he truly loved. When Meredith touches him, his heart starts pounding. William asks her to feel at home, as now both of them are supposed to be husband and wife. The next scene opens with both in a bedroom, where Meredith asks if William would like to have a wild, steamy hormone sandwich, and if he does, he will have to activate the hormone setting by maintaining strong eye contact. William maintains eye contact and opens the settings. After a delay, both get engaged in a wild, steamy hormone sandwich that keeps on going for a while. Once they are done, William asks her to stay for the night, but Meredith leaves because, in order to perform at her best levels, she needs to charge herself for the morning. Leaving William, she goes to the room where her charging bed is already present, and after observing and taking a good look around, she lies down on her bed and begins charging. In the morning, we can see Meredith making breakfast for William, while news of protests play on the TV in the background. Asking William about his job, Meredith inquires about the duties he performs. While answering her questions and barely eating anything from the breakfast, he goes to the office where he is informed about missing reports of companions. Meanwhile, William is busy at his work. Meredith engages herself in several activities and tries to be more like the actual Meredith. Sleeping back on her charging bed, she begins charging. Meanwhile, her dream agent, named Ido, comes live and asks her if she would like to dream about something. The scene shifts towards William, who is now sure about the location of the missing companions and goes on to recover them. While Meredith dreams about an imaginary birthday party of hers, where a masked man comes and hands her a card, the peculiar thing in all of this is when she inquires about that masked man from Ido. There is no record of it. Then we see that William kills Jason and takes the companions back to Wife-Like after recovering them. Companions are the robot wives produced by Wife-Like. Now Meredith asks Ido to let her know about the hobbies of the actual Meredith, and he lists down all of the hobbies of Meredith. There is no mention of knitting as a hobby, so Meredith asks the agent to activate her knitting capabilities. After getting her knitting skills activated, she knits the same bird as the one which was made on the card that the masked man gave to her in one of the dreams. Meredith then goes out for cycling, where she intercepts a woman who is standing right in the middle of the track. Trying to save her, Meredith falls into the bushes. She asks Meredith to remember. Meredith, in confusion, inquires about what to remember, but she leaves while repeating the words that she must remember. She goes back home and we see William tending to the wounds that she got from the bushes. Furthermore, William tells her about the companions and that people hate them so much, essentially because they find them a threat to the family system. Next, we can see Meredith standing outside the house and admiring the lake in front, when Williams comes out of the house and tells her about his and the real Meredith's first encounter in the park while she was reading a book. Then Meredith tells him that she knitted something for him, and they both are now inside, where Meredith is handing William the cushion with the knitted cover. Then we see Meredith lying in her charging bed, reading from the real Meredith's diary. Later, Meredith opens her dream mode and asks Ito to replay the scene of William and her first encounter. However, when she is in that dream, replaying the park scene, William is exchanged by the masked man. The man tries to reach her, however, William wakes her up from the dream and takes her to the bedroom. While William is sleeping, Meredith keeps herself busy, reading the diary and replaying all of the life moments from actual Meredith's life in her head. The first one that comes is a camping scene, where real-life Meredith is asking William if they should leave everything and come live out here in the wild. In the morning, Meredith is looking out of the room's window and enjoying the sound of falling leaves when William hugs her from behind and she sings to him. The scene shifts to William being in his car, where he is being informed from the control room about a companion they have found, and then William can be seen entering an office. There, he inquires about a man from reception, to which the receptionist tells him that there is no such man in the office. William calls the receptionist with the name Lisa, which she denies, and says that she is Rose. William continues and says that someone has changed her completely. He inquires if she is still in contact with those who stole her, which she denies and says she doesn't want to go back to the facility. William asks her to come along, and she runs into the office and jumps out of the window. The scene turns toward the house, where the strange woman that Meredith met on the track is now sitting on the couch. Upon inquiring, she tells Meredith that she should get back to her senses quickly and leave the life of an obedient and loving housewife while her husband recovers companions out there. When asked to leave, she gets a message recorded for William, and before she leaves, she introduces herself as Louise and tells Meredith that there is a man out there who would want to meet her. William gets back to the wife-like facility after recovering another companion, and there is an advertisement on the TV about becoming parents of the best babies by getting them from Childlike. One of the staff members of Wifelike approaches William and tells him that he would like to see Marion. William goes to see him and informs him about all of the events that followed the suicide of one of the companions. And we should look into it, as to why it's happening. William shows his concern by stating that if the companions are capable of developing emotions and they are ready to choose suicide, then it is possible the other way around, that they might kill their owners as well. Marion listens to his concern, but asks him not to worry because stepping into the future comes with complications and problems, which will eventually die out, but right now, they have to focus on the big picture. William goes back home, where Meredith tells him about Louise's visit. He calls Agent Jack from work and sends Meredith into an artificial dream in order to track the masked man. During her dream, the masked man gives Meredith some coordinates of where they are supposedly going to meet. Jack and William leave to track him down, while Meredith, who has to wake up from the dream, tells him that she remembers the masked man's face from somewhere. However, William calms her down and leaves to get the man. Jack gets a squad with him, but he runs into an ambush set by the masked man, who is named Keen. On the other hand, William also gets pranked by a dummy in the park. In worry that something would happen to Meredith, he runs back home. There, from Jack's call, they come to know that Meredith has been hacked into, which is helping them to stay one step ahead of William's team. William tells Jack that they are going to meet them at their place, where they will wipe Meredith's memory. But before that, Jack needs to send William into an organized dream. Then we see that both William and Meredith have arrived at Jack's place, and William is all set to dream. William is not capable of going into the dream himself, so he uses the power of Meredith, and they both go into the dream where Keen comes. Meredith is on 28% battery, so William asks her if once her battery gets to 10%, she would wake up from the dream. While the three of them are in the woods, William asks Meredith to run away as far as she can, and William gets in a fight with Keen. He asks him how he is still alive, and that William will kill all of them. The fight is happening in the background, while Meredith loses her way in the jungle, so she asks Ito to open a portal for her. The door becomes visible in the jungle, and stepping into it, Meredith finds herself in the same room that she was in during the very first dream. The fight between William and Keen continues in the room, and while William chokes Keen, he says that he will never leave Meredith. William replied that every time she remembers him, he will wipe her memory. William is just about to kill Keen, but Meredith, listening to the conversation happening between William and Keen, drains her battery quickly and wakes up. William shouts in frustration because he couldn't kill Keen. Now we can see both of them sitting at home, and William convincing Meredith to get her memory wiped so they can start fresh. Then we see Meredith being transported to the facility. Meredith, when she reaches the facility, many companions are there to get their memories erased. However, one of the companions told Meredith that the way they are programmed, there is a way in which they can store their memories and that they won't ever be wiped out. So she tells Meredith everything that needs to be done to put the memories in a random folder in her system so they can't be recognized as memories by the system and will not be erased. After Meredith is transferred back home, she role-plays as if all of her memories are gone, and she is ready to start fresh. In the meantime, William is making her calm and asking her that it will take a bit of time, but eventually she will adjust to this new home of hers. Basically, he was repeating everything that he did when he first brought Meredith home. However, a twist comes into play here. Jack comes blasting into their house and confronts him that he had killed Keen and that Meredith wasn't his wife. At first, he denies it, but then he asks Meredith to leave them both alone. William finally agrees to the claims of Jack that he did kill Keen and the actual Meredith because he loved her. Listening to this facade, Jack says to William that following the rules, he will have to take him into custody. Because, love or not, you cannot go on and kill someone. As soon as Jack comes forward to take him down, William kills him by firing shots at him. Meredith comes back from behind and says, "You have killed Jack the same way you had killed Keen." This is when William comes to know that the memory of Meredith was not wiped out. With that confrontation, all of the scenes and life scenarios from the relationship between Keen and the real Meredith start to play in her mind. William does not deny the fact that he killed Keen, but then we come to know that William had not killed Meredith immediately. We see that William, after killing Keen, brought the actual Meredith to his home, where he told her how much he is in love with her. But Meredith replied that it isn't love. And upon the question of the new Meredith from William as to why he killed her if he was in so much love with her, William replies that men kill everything they love. Next, we see the scene of William killing the actual Meredith, where he killed her by strangling her with a bed cushion while she was asleep in the bed. After William kills her, he puts on a ring on her finger so he can prove to the world that they were husband and wife. Listening to all of this, Meredith goes into her settings, and in strength and power mode, she increases the strength to maximum settings. With a single hand, she lifts William and in a jolt, throws him at the table placed in the living room. She then sits on his belly and pushes her body down, which puts pressure on William's body. In pain, William tries to reach Meredith's neck. However, she forces his hands to the ground, and by pressing it harder, she first breaks his left arm and says it's for Keen. Then she breaks his right arm and said that is for Meredith. Then we see exactly in the same way as William had strangled the actual Meredith, using the cushion, she uses that same cushion with an identical cover on it, knitted by new Meredith herself. She strangles him to death and leaves the finger and cushion on his chest. The last scene of the movie starts when Meredith wakes up in a place that looks like a factory, where she is joined by all the other free companions. She then claims back her rightful role as the ringmaster, and the movie ends with screams and chants of the slogan, "Life begins now." Subscribe for more videos just like this, turn on that notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.